morning students. Our next lecture is next topic, development of arteries from dorsal aorta. So therefore the development of arteries from dorsal aorta. We start with the same diagram in which we show the right half. We know that the right half of the dorsal aorta, here we draw this, the right half of the dorsal aorta between ductus caroticus and the seventh cervical intersegmental artery in this way will develop into the right subclavian artery. So therefore this is the right subclavian artery. What about the left side? The entire left dorsal aorta will help in the development of arch of aorta, that is below ductus caroticus. What about the dorsal aorta cranial to ductus caroticus? See here, this portion ductus caroticus has disappeared. Here also the ductus caroticus has disappeared. We have discussed this in the previous segments. Now cephalic to ductus caroticus, that is cephalic to the third aortic arch, this portion of the dorsal aorta will develop into internal carotid arteries on both the sides. So right and left side, this will develop into internal carotid arteries, internal carotid artery. Now we are coming to the caudal portion of the dorsal aorta. Remember, the right dorsal aorta has to disappear, this right dorsal aorta, where it joins with the left one. So this left dorsal aorta will continue down after this right dorsal aorta has joined with it. So both the right and left dorsal aorta at the level of, remember this level is T4, it will continue down as single dorsal aorta. And remember, I have also discussed with you how this fusion of the right and left dorsal aorta takes place from caudocranial. This fusion, remember, I will put an arrow, this fusion will always take place caudocranially. From the L4 level it will start and it will ascend till the level of T4, L4 to T4, where the both right and left dorsal aorta join and form single median dorsal aorta in the midline. Only this portion, right dorsal aorta, which is present between the right seventh cervical intersegmental artery and this junction, will disappear. Now this portion of the dorsal aorta, I don't have space here, so I will draw it here. Please come on this side. This is the continuation of that dorsal aorta. Please draw here. This will be the continuation of the same dorsal aorta. Now this will extend from, see here, it is extending from L4 to T4, and it will also extend beyond L4 also, but the junction between right and left dorsal aorta, it will start from L4 and migrate to T4. Now this dorsal aorta will become descending thoracic and descending abdominal aorta. So what will it develop into? Here we can write down descending thoracic aorta, and after that abdominal aorta. From the level of its junction, that is right and left dorsal aorta, and down it will continue as descending thoracic aorta and abdominal aorta. Further branches, descending thoracic aorta and abdominal aorta. What are the branches from that median dorsal aorta that has fused with each other, that is the right and left fused with each other? This portion of dorsal aorta passing through thorax and abdomen will have three pattern of branches. First pattern of branches will be ventral splanchnic. See here, ventral means right and left from the ventral wall. This is ventral splanchnic. It is taking its origin from the anterior surface of the aorta. So therefore those arteries will be known as ventral splanchnic. I will write down, they are ventral splanchnic arteries from the anterior surface of aorta. Second variety will be lateral splanchnic these lateral splanchnic arteries will take origin from the lateral wall of the aorta, that is from the lateral wall. Here we can show they will take origin in the form of lateral wall of the aorta. And third variety will be somatic intersegmental arteries. What is soma? Body wall. So therefore, these will take origin from dorsolateral portion of the body wall. Dorsolateral portion of the body wall of the aorta. Dorsolateral. That is, it will be slightly posterior to the aorta. Slightly posterior to the aorta in this way. And it will supply to the, these branches will supply to the body wall. Now, we come to the important landmark. All these three variety of branches will take origin from the remaining part of dorsal aorta. We have seen the cephalic portion of dorsal aorta. We have discussed internal carotid, then the right and the left dorsal aorta. If we come on this side, please come on this side. So therefore, here we are able to see, and after that we have shown that this two aorta, they combine and form the median dorsal aorta. And when we come on this side, this is the same median dorsal aorta, where they will have ventral splanchnic, lateral splanchnic, somatic intersegmental. Ventral splanchnic arteries will develop and they will supply the entire gut wall. That is, whatever are the derivatives of foregut, midgut, hindgut, they are supplied by ventral splanchnic arteries. So obviously, all the arteries of foregut, midgut, hindgut, whatever we have seen in this section, will develop from ventral splanchnic branches. Lateral splanchnic arteries, they will supply the structures that are derived from intermediate mesoderm. And the system which is derived from intermediate mesoderm is in the urogenital system, urinary system and genital system. So whatever arteries are supplying urinary system, urinary organs and genital organs, they will develop from lateral splanchnic branches. What about somatic intersegmental arteries? They will supply the body wall. Whatever structures are present in the intersegmental planes in the body wall, they will supply that. So now we take individually, first we take ventral splanchnic arteries. It is very interesting. If you just pay your attention, this ventral splanchnic arteries, initially, how does it develop? So if we come on this corner, right now I am having this space here. This again we make here the aorta, but remember this aorta which I have drawn here will be, it will be in a sagittal section. So this will be ventral and this will be dorsal. Remember this aorta which I have drawn, ventral and dorsal, sagittal view. Now here I'll put some color inside. And now ventral splanchnic. There will be so many arteries which will take origin from the ventral wall. These are the arteries from the ventral wall of aorta. Later on what will happen? Very simple. So many arteries taking origin from ventral wall of the aorta, and later on they will have longitudinal anastomosis. Now these are the longitudinal anastomosis. Now they will anastomose with each other in this way. There will be longitudinal anastomosis with each other. Now this longitudinal anastomosis will be in two planes. Which two planes? Dorsal, ventral. So if this is dorsal, then another plane will be there. Another plane will be there which will be ventral. So this is ventral plane. Here I can write it ventral, and here I can mention dorsal. So this is dorsal, this is ventral plane. Now it is longitudinal anastomosis in the ventral, in the dorsal plane. Some of these anastomosis will disappear, some will remain. For example, now you will come to know the ventral anastomosis which remains, they are right and left gastric arteries, which we have seen during the dissection of the stomach on the lesser curvature. Dorsal anastomosis which will remain will be gastroepiploic arteries, anastomosis between the right and left gastroepiploic arteries, which we have seen during dissection of the greater curvature of stomach. And also the superior and inferior pancreatico-duodenal arteries, the anastomosis which we have seen between the duodenum and pancreas. They are the arteries which develop from dorsal anastomosis and the right and left gastric from ventral anastomosis. Remaining all the anastomosis, they will regress, they will disappear. Now comes the last important point. After the formation of these arteries, such as the right and left gastric arteries, the superior and inferior pancreatico-duodenal arteries, the right and left gastroepiploic arteries, similarly, all these arteries, ventral, they will disappear, almost, except for a few. So therefore, what are those few arteries which will remain? Those few arteries which will remain will be, for example, if I make this disappear, and if I make here these arteries which disappear. So what are the arteries which will remain here in the abdomen? In the abdomen, for example, at the level of T12, the artery which remains will be celiac artery, celiac trunk. Another artery which will remain at the level of L1 will be superior mesenteric artery. Another artery which remains here at the level of L3 will be inferior mesenteric artery. So these are the ventral splanchnic branches. The remaining will disappear. What about few arteries which remain here in the thoracic region? In the thoracic region, those arteries which remain here will be bronchial arteries, and also these few arteries will be esophageal arteries. So here we finish our ventral splanchnic branches. Now we come to the most important in the caudal region, in the abdominal cavity and the pelvis, and that deserves to be mentioned. And what is that artery? It is also a ventral splanchnic, but we will take a different segment for that, that is the umbilical artery.